and he says hello. Howard, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Good, Chris. Listen, remember, the Orioles won in 66, so they did win 2 out of 5 years. It wasn't like it was a total disaster.
Hold on now. Who won the championship in 66?
The Orioles. I mean,
the Orioles did. Yeah, but Howard, the Orioles were a different team in '66.
Not too much. Not too much. They were.
Well, they had
Louis Aparicio was on the '66.
Right.
He was on the '69.
Well, it was a different pitching staff outside of Palmer. Because McNally, Cuellar, people like that were not on the '66. No, McNally was.
McNally was on the '66 team.
Yeah, he was. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have to. I mean, remember they had. Davey Johnson was on the '66 team too. So you're right. There's more than I think.
They were pretty much. In '71, it was different. But Chris, see where I'm going here. 2 of my favorite movies of all time had Fred McMurray in the final scene. And it was a great scene in both of them. Do you know where I'm going?
Well, the Indemnity one with Edward G. Robinson?
Double Indemnity with Edward G. Robinson.
That's a good movie. Yep.
Okay, do you know the other one?
Let me think. Oh, yeah, I do. Mutiny on the Bounty.
No, we're close. The Kane Mutiny.
The Kane Mutiny. That's what...
okay. He was very underrated.
Yeah,
Fred McMurray was a great actor. Very underrated. But one last thing, you were talking about Spencer Tracy being really sick in this final movie.
Right.
What about Humphrey Bogart?
Yeah, 56.
In The Harder They Fall.
Yeah, about the boxer. Yep.
But that was a great movie with Rod Steiger. Did you see that?
I have. I mean, he was the promoter of the boxer who was getting beat up left and right.
B-Ross Carnero, they made it after.
Yeah, they did. The big Argentinian who got pounded left and right, and he was and if I believe correctly, didn't Bogart play a sports writer in that movie?
Sports writer, and he was really sick.
Yeah, he had the cancer.
That movie.
Yeah, he did. That's a good one.
But he was tremendous in that movie.
Well, he's a great.
Tremendous.
He's great. Listen, I'll tell you another McMurray film that you made me think of that I love. 80-80-203 left, BC Ball. Another movie that I love with McMurray is The Apartment, which is a great one-day movie of the year. Billy Wilder, 1960, with Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine. That's a very, very good movie. McMurray plays a bad guy in that movie. Leaves his wife for Shirley MacLaine. Jack Lemmon's sharing his apartment for all his buddies at work who got girlfriends. I mean, it's a very, very good movie. Double Indemnity is a good movie. Fred McMurray there plays an insurance adjuster who meets a lady. I forget who played her. Was it Barbara Stanwyck? I think it was. Barbara Stanwyck. I'm pretty sure it's Barbara Stanwyck. I can double check that. But Barbara Stanwyck, and they collude to kill her husband. And Edwin G. Robinson is the insurance guy who's paid to look into it. And he figures out that they killed him, made it an accident, double indemnity for the money. It's a very, very good movie, and it's Edwin G. Robinson and Fred McMurray. They both work in the same place. Good detective movie. And Edwin G. Robinson was a good actor who could play both good guy and bad guy. Playing both. I wouldn't call him necessarily a number one, but a 1A. I would say. Here's Steve in Connecticut. He's aboard on Mad Dog Unleashed. Steve, good afternoon. How are you today?
Fine, Doc. First time, long time.
Good to have you aboard, Stephen. What's happening now? Let me hear.
There's a sixth school.
Which one?
There's more than 5. It's Michigan State. Michigan State tied Notre Dame in '66 for the national championship. They both shared the crown. And then you have with Magic in '79 and Izzo in 2000. I thought
that, are you sure they shared it? I thought Notre Dame won the crown outright in '66.
Well, they have 2 different polls. They had the UPI and the AP, but one shared, other one didn't. So it's sort of a split decision.
All right. I don't quite count that because of what you said, but that's a good example. Michigan State 10-10 tie. UCLA played Notre Dame the next week, and Notre Dame killed them, and that's why they got the extra game. This has been a hell of a game. BC just scored underneath. They got a 2-point lead, 52 seconds to go after both teams exchanged threes. BC made their first one. NC State made the second one. 50 seconds. NC State ball. They are down to 40 seconds. A drive to the basket and a foul. BC will be over the limit, I'm assuming. And so NC State will go to the line with an opportunity to tie. 40 seconds to go. So we'll keep an eye on it. Can we go to the play-by-play in this game for the hell of it? You got to find it. If you do, we'll get that last possession on the board for you. I'm into the BC team. So BC 85-83, 40.7 seconds to go, and NC State's at the line. I don't know if it's for 2 or for 1-on-1, but they're at the line. I think they are in the bonus, so I believe they got both free throws. No, it's a 1-on-1, but he made his first. So it's 85-84. Arizona State leads Colorado 60-58. That is the game now that we need in the worst way, is Arizona State. No, we don't want the Arizona State game. We want the BC game. Arizona State game, Colorado, that's for Steve. We want to root against Steve. So we want that out, and we want Colorado out of the NCAA as quickly as we possibly can. Meanwhile, it's BC ball, 38 seconds to go in a tie game. They will call a timeout to set a play up. There you have it. Dave in California, he's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Dave, good afternoon. How are you today, okay?
Hey, great talking to you. Hey, real quick, don't forget my UCLA Bruins have a 1954 football championship and more than anybody else basketball championship.
I did not know that. They won the title in 54 outright?
I'm not sure if it's shared or outright, but it is on the wall there at the Rose Bowl.
Was not aware of that, 54. Those early collegiate teams, really from the early 50s on, I get a little lost about. Pretty good after that. But the NCAA teams who won the college championship, mythical. And UCLA would be one of them. That's maybe Beeline did not want to include them because it's not, quote unquote, a legit title. Is that possible?
Understood. It's a little before my time, and being a season football ticket holder, that's the only one we have. 1954, I think they were 9-0. They might have shared it.
They might have shared it. Dave out of UCLA giving us some thoughts. Keith in South Florida is aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Keith, good afternoon.
Dog. Yeah, good afternoon, Dog. How you doing
Fine,
today?
Keith. Nice
Two
to
reasons
talk.
why I called. On the movies, did you ever get into the Cary Grant movies, Charades and North by Northwest?
Not as much as I should have. I was not as big a Cary Grant fan as I was, say, Jimmy Stewart. So, no, not necessarily. I have seen North by Northwest. I mean, I saw the I certainly saw the Philadelphia Story with Stewart and Katharine Hepburn. I've seen some Cary Grant movies, but he's a dapper guy and everything else, but not in love with him as much as I am some of the other guys. Go ahead.
Before you go, Dog, I have a poster for you I'm going to send you. It's from the 1991 Masters. I'm going to send it to you up at the station.
I'd like to see that.
So I thought you might enjoy it. You can have it. So anyway, have a nice holiday and a nice day, and enjoy yourself.
You got it. You got Keith. I don't know about Cary Grant. All right, here we go now. BC with the ball. Tied, 20 seconds to go. Second round of the ACC tournament. Winner will get Clemson. BC drive. The pull-up jump is good. So BC right now is up 2 with 17 seconds. They have made a lot of baskets here down the stretch. And now NC State will call a timeout. So we want BC loot juice tomorrow against Clemson. We want BC to beat NC State. BC has scored in this game. BC's got some talent. I saw him early in the year against Duke. They beat them. BC's got some talent. Now, they've had a good year.
Not
bad. Over 500.
7 wins in the conference, over 500.
Yeah.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. I don't know, whatever. They've gotten better players. I don't know why. All of a sudden, they've been terrible for such a long time. I thought that Cornell coach, who they hired a few years ago, would be a great coach there, but he hadn't worked out. They got good guards.
He's
BC.
at Penn now, and he got the coach of the year.
Oh, he's at Penn. Okay. Yep. What's his name? Steve
O'Donohue.
Steve O'Donohue.
Yeah.
Now, the other piece of information, we need Colorado.
By the way, the Buffaloes have opened up a 6-point lead with 8:52 to go in the second half.
Darn it. We want Colorado.
They might lose, but I thought they'd be dangerous in this tournament. They'd be a pain in the ass in this tournament.
We want Colorado out of there.
Thank you. I was coming in here to praise you with your interview with John Beilein, which I thought was outstanding.
Oh, you enjoyed that?
Yeah, you did a great job. I mean, it wasn't your standard X's and O's. You got stuff about the Cardinals, and he obviously loves talking to you. And I did hear him say anytime, how about Sunday, John, for our selection show?
Funny. No, we want Colorado out. Is it possible that we get Colorado out of there?
Well, of course it's possible. There's 8:52 to go. I mean, they're not expected to win this game.
So are you as wrapped up on Colorado basketball because of Kyle there playing baseball as you are Indiana basketball with Alex about to become a GM of a major league team?
Not yet. No, I'm not as jacked up about Colorado basketball simply because Indiana's got the rich history. But I'm definitely rooting
how
for
about Colorado football? Are you jacked up by that at all?
Look, I'll be into it if they start.
Did you see every game?
I followed both.
You did?
No, well, it's hard because it's the Pac-12 network. You don't get all the games.
We have the play-by-play, so let's hear it,
Let's
Steve.
do this, yes.
13 seconds to go. NC State ball down 2.
And it's stolen by BC, and a foul. Al Freeman fouls Kai Bowman. Well, the Pac's inability to get the ball inbounds really hurts.
Yeah, they did a good job of denying Markel Johnson. Markel Johnson broke to the backcourt, and he wasn't open. And so Al Freeman tried to get the ball up and over one of the Boston College defenders who was inbounding on the side. That was Robinson, and he deflected it and caused the turnover. Wow, that's a killer.
9th team foul for State, so Bowman at the line for a 1-on-1. Here's the free throw on the way. Good. Bowman with a big
makes
foul
this
shot
will get
there.
out of it. Make sure he makes a second.
85. Here's the second one on the way. That's the dagger.
That is. Goodbye. So NC State's going to lose bound 4. Now, what is their status here? Florida State's on the bubble. They might be out. They did beat Carolina, Miami.
I think Florida State's safe.
You think so?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Where do we stand right now as far as NC State is concerned in the NCAA?
Yeah, no, I think they'll be fine. I mean, they won 20. They got 21 wins and 11 in the conference. By the way, you wrote their obituary a little quickly. It's still 7 seconds to go. It's only a 2-point game.
And a timeout. And well, let's get you a lousy update in. They caught a travel, Steve, so it's a 4-point game. So you can. They caught it.
Sure about that?
No basket. They called a foul, I think, prior to the hoop, so we can take the hoop away, and we can get off that. I think they called the foul right. No, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It looks
if they did call a foul, that was a bad call. It wasn't a foul.
We want to make sure, again, we want BC to win. More importantly, though, we want Colorado out of the NCAA tournament completely. That's the most important thing.
Well, they're not going to be in the NCAA. You're talking about the Pac-12.
But keep your season. I want to ruin your season.
They're not going in. It doesn't even matter.
He's got a sports bite. Grant in a sec. Here's Steve Torrey on Mad Dog.